What's up, fam? You are listening to the Urban Sports Scenes Titans versus Commanders preview show. I'm Wole, and I got my homie with me too. He's here, so he's in the building. So let me make sure I add him in. My guy, the myth, the legend, Sports Journeys, Washington Commanders reporter, Lake Lewis Jr. What's going on, Lake?
What's going on, fam? How are you?
I'm good, man. How was your turkey day, bro?
It was good. I don't really do the turkey and stuff too much, so it's a day of a bunch of sides.
Are you a size? That's what you do, a bunch of sides?
I'm a big sides guy,
Oh,
man.
for real?
One day I do everything I probably shouldn't do, but it's a lot of carbs and a lot of calories on the
I
plate.
feel you. Nah, I was telling folks that for me, like this the only day. Well, it's the day that I go in. Like I go in.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I've been dieting heavy for like for a month strong, right? So
Oh
I
yeah.
cut out the tequila and everything, bro. I only drink that. I don't drink nothing. Right? Yeah. I haven't had like alcohol in like a month.
That good for you, because you
I,
know what? I haven't either, and
yeah. See,
it's
look.
it's been I wasn't a heavy drinker anyway, but
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
a fan of tequila, but
Yeah.
I haven't had any, and kind of surprised. But yeah, man, I did a fast it was about 3 weeks ago. I did a week fast and lost
Mm-hmm.
13 pounds in that week.
See, as I'm saying, I'm like I forgot because I did this like when I was much younger.
Mm-hmm.
I like took, and we're gonna get to the show. I know we gotta speed this up,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
um, when I was much younger, I took like 3 months, and dude, when I lie to you not, I dropped like 40 pounds within that process.
Oh, I know. I mean, I could have kept it going, and I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and we were still working out every day too
Yeah, exactly.
during the fast. But I was like, you know what? With the holidays coming up, I mean, it's just gonna be too hard,
Yeah,
man.
I know. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. But let's get into it, man. The Washington Commanders. Oh, well, Sunday up in Northwest State, and the Washington Commanders will take on the Tennessee Titans. Before we get into the game, let's knock down some logistics real quick. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Make sure you subscribe to our Urban Sports Scene YouTube channel. If you're on there right now, hit that red subscribe button. Also, like the video. Don't forget to tweet us at Urban Sports Scene. Hit us up on IG at Urban Sports Scene and TikTok at Urban Sports Scene, and like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. Also, join our Urban Sports Scene Facebook group. Search Urban Sports Scene, sports bloggers, sports podcasters, and sports debates. All right, let's get right into it. Like the Commanders had a rough showing against the Cowboys. Obviously, everybody's been annoyed with that whole game. But first, how important is it for this team to bounce back Sunday against the Tennessee Titans?
I mean, they have to win. To me, it's a must-win
Okay.
football. And it's just because if you look at the other teams that are below them by a game or two,
Mm-hmm.
it could get convoluted real quick, man,
Right.
congested. If they
Mm-hmm.
don't do what they're supposed to do, and they're home. When you're playing against a team doesn't have a winning record, and you're at home, you're supposed to win those games. They didn't win last week, so I would think that got their attention, and they know that they're going to have to come out and play an A game, because Tennessee's feeling pretty good about themselves because they just beat
Yes.
Houston.
Yes.
So if you're Washington, you got to take care of business, and you can't. It's one of those games where you can't let linger into the third and fourth quarters.
Yeah.
You got to put this team away early and make them realize they have no hope.
True. And that's what happened in the Cowboys game, right? They gave you all the opportunity to blow them out, and you kept
Yeah.
them in the game, and then look what happened.
Yeah, I mean, to make even damage worse, I mean, in the first half when Washington went up, I think they went up 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
They were holding that and then let Dallas score right before halftime to
Yes.
tie it up.
Mm-hmm.
And you just had that sense like, man, what are these guys doing? There was some boos in the stadium, last
Mm-hmm.
week. Even when they were going off the field at halftime, there was some boos. Like,
Wow.
this isn't what's supposed to be happening today, and against a team that is dreaded in the DC area. That just
Mm-hmm.
wasn't a good look. So hopefully that got their attention, and I'm sure it did, because it was eerily quiet in the locker room after the game, and you saw guys in their little factions talking amongst each other,
Mm-hmm.
almost as if they were having meetings amongst each other. Yeah, so I think it got their attention, and I think you're going to see a much improved football team on Sunday.
Like you're in the building. So you spoke about a little bit. What's the vibe of this team going into this game?
I mean, I think they still feel confident. It's just every team has one of those games every year, where it's just a stinker. I mean, you can look at the losses that they've had, to Tampa and Pittsburgh, and Philadelphia and now Dallas. I mean, you can look at all those games and say to yourself, that they still were in those football games. They still, Pittsburgh, they lost by 1. Philadelphia was a possession. So I think that they're learning from that. Obviously last week against Dallas, they missed the extra point. They could have tied it and sent it to overtime. So it's not like they're getting blown out in their losses. It's not like they're just not competing, because they are competing. They're playing hard. But when you're devoid of talent in certain areas and certain key areas, you can't have days like they had on Sunday. I mean, you have to find a way to fight through that. And I think for the most part, it's just, I think for on the offensive side of the ball, they have to get back to attacking. They've kind of gotten into this rut of just being ultra conservative. And you saw at the end of the game last week when they opened it up, Jaden and Terry made a play. That wasn't a scripted play by any means. That was just two playmakers saying, look, we're going to make a play. And they did. So they have to get back to that Sunday against Tennessee.
All right, speaking of Tennessee is a team that you mentioned just beat the Houston Texans. A team that looked good against certain teams this year so far. Texans look like a team that's a playoff team, right?
Yeah.
Looking at that matchup, a lot of people going before this game was like, oh, this Titans team, this is a W. A lot of people were saying that. But what problems does this Titans team pose for the Washington Commanders?
Well, I mean, they've got some young players at the skill set position, especially on offense. I mean, they've got some nice guys. I like their receiving core too. I mean, they moved on from DeAndre Hopkins, and just to be able to let some of these younger guys play. And naturally it starts with Will Levis. I can't say where he was, but he started there. He started in that blue and white, and then he transferred. But that's our ritual, man.
So we got to. We got to do this every time. We got to.
It came from Happy Valley, but he's one of those quarterbacks that's like, he's kind of streaky, actually. Like when he gets it going, he has a ton of confidence, and he can beat you with his legs as well. He's a big, strong guy, but he's just one of those guys that plays off of emotion. And if you can get to him early and make him uncomfortable, then you have a really good shot, obviously, to disrupt what they're trying to do offensively. I mean, they are going to try to run the football too, and Washington has been susceptible to being able to be ran on. So, if you're Washington, though, and you look at this game on paper, they should win the football game. But after just what happened last week, the confidence level is kind of, with us at least, has kind of come down a little bit. But I would be shocked if they don't win the game Sunday. But I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk by any means. But they got to take care of their business and put some pressure on Levis, take away the run game, and not give up the big play in the secondary. They still at times look like they have that communication issue, and you see them get gashed, especially in the middle portion of the field. So if they can tighten up these things and the defense get back to playing the way they've been playing, I mean, for all intents and purposes, the defense played well enough last week to win the football game.
I agree.
So they're doing their part. They really are. But they do need to create some turnovers, though, to help out the offense who's struggling right now.
And actually a question before I have a comment. Mike said, Lake, which Mike was Witt speaking on when he said he focused on Mike not saying juice, and what did he take from it?
I was talking about Mikey Sanders still.
I thought so. Yeah.
He's talking about Wole's Michigan dude.
I mean, he's a beast, though. Don't get twisted. He's been the best corner. Let's not act like he hasn't.
Because basically what that is everyone keeps talking about if Marshawn plays. Does Benji move to the other side of the field? And I'm gonna answer that for you guys. No, he doesn't. Mikey's your starting corner on the outside. And I know he was drafted to be underneath in the middle in the slot, but he was an All-American at Michigan on the outside. And he looks really good. I mean, he held his own against A.J. Brown a couple weeks ago.
Bro, A.J. and Devontae.
Right, exactly. So
both.
He's held his own. He's actually coming into his own, and I'm excited to see him and Marshawn Lattimore. That tandem looks really good. The question is, can you get Benji in the slot? Can he He's grabby enough. Can you put him down there and his length? But I don't know if he has that kind of hip movement to cover those guys in the middle of the field like that.
And Noah's been really good in the slot. I know he had one bad game last
He
week, but
has.
he's been really good in the slot.
He has, and I think that's what you're going to see. So, but I think people need to understand by saying that Benji might not be out there on the first play of the game, that it doesn't mean anything. He's still going to have 25, 30 reps on the field. He's still going to be a big part of what they're trying to do in the secondary. But I just think that right now Mikey's the guy, and you don't take out something that's not broken.
Yeah. And he's a young dude that you're invested in. He's the young dude, so he is. So it's different, right? This is the guy they drafted, so they're invested in Mikey. But back to the Titans. I feel like the Titans are definitely dangerous. To your point, their defense is like second in the NFL, which was surprising. They're second in the NFL. You're talking Tony Pollard, who's had success against Washington in the past with Dallas, and then and again this Washington defense. This is the complaint I've had all year. They're horrible stopping the run to me.
They struggle. They struggle, and it's right in the middle of the field. And Tennessee's offensive line has some size on them too.
Exactly. So, so to me, that's what scares me. You got a team that plays good defense, got a good running game. That's a scary. And then you mentioned the wide. They got Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, regardless. So when healthy, he does damage. So. It's scary. It is. It ain't.
Nah, this isn't a cakewalk by any means. I'll tell you this right now. If you took us back 2 weeks ago, like right after the Philly game, okay, they lost. We know short bye week, blah blah blah. If you told me the team that they would lose to, if they were to lose to one of their next two opponents, I would have said Tennessee before I said Dallas.
Facts. I agree.
and so
I agree.
I need fans to understand this is not going to be a gimme football game.
Yeah.
I think Washington wins, but we're talking like a 3-4 point victory. They're not blowing Tennessee out. You can hang that up.
Yeah, which sucks because now I keep putting stress in my life. I like to have time. Like I love to have. I was getting used to the blowouts, but I ain't gonna lie to you.
Oh, I was getting used to it. It was for me. It was like people, friends, and family at the game, like, man, what section you in? I'm like, look, I'll be here. Like now it's like, damn, man, like I can't get up out my seat.
I know.
It's starting to feel like the old days.
This Cowboy game had me heated. I was like, damn, I can't get up. Like I'm expecting by halftime, I can go chill.
When they this is how crazy it's been. When Terry took that thing to the house from what was it, 86 out? With 23 seconds left. Everyone in the press box again was like, oh my God, like what are we seeing another miracle, blah blah blah. And I literally turned and I told Lou, I was like, they gotta make the extra point. Like I didn't feel confident about that. Wouldn't you know, missed it. And it was just so Washington. It was like everything that they've done this year to kind of leave that type of Washington feel out of it, just resurface just for that one game. I'm just hoping that it's gone. It was a stinker. It was bad across the board. They didn't play complimentary football. And they're going to have to do that if they're going to beat Tennessee. They're going to need special teams, defense, and offense to collectively play well against this young team in Tennessee that has nothing to lose. They have nothing to lose.
I know.
So they're coming in here feeling like, okay, we just took down Houston in their building, and they might think Houston's better. Houston was in the playoffs last year. So they're thinking if we just took this team down, that some people had as a legit Super Bowl contender. Why would they feel like they can't come into Washington and Northwest Stadium and beat them? I'm sure they feel like they can. So that's why Washington's going to have to bring that A game, man.
No, I agree with you. That's my point. I feel like it's a tougher matchup than what people thought it would be going into this game. So, we speaking to Jaden. Jaden, his play was so high. So there's a slight decline. I'm not calling it a big decline. There's a slight decline. What do you think going into this game? I guess, like you mentioned, one of the best defenses in the NFL, which is wild to say this with their record. One of the best defenses in the NFL. What do you think his mindset going into this game? Knowing that obviously as a young quarterback, you were so confident because you were doing well. And now there has to be, you're thinking to yourself, is there a little bit of doubt in him about what's going on right now. A little bit of shaking of confidence. What do you think his mindset is right now?
I still think he's a confident player. Of course
Okay.
he is. He knows he's a good player. He
Yeah.
does, really good player.
Yeah.
With an elite talent skill set. But I think what happens is that defensive coordinators, man, they make money for a reason, and this for them to watch that film and watch the tape and figure out your tendencies. And more importantly, it's not so much Jaden's tendencies that they're figuring out, it's Cliff Kingsbury's.
Yeah.
And now I need Cliff Kingsbury to be a better counterpuncher. I mean, he can't just, let teams now dictate to them that they're going to shadow Jaden in the middle of the field and take away his legs. You have to let that guy be a playmaker, because for weeks, all we heard, even when the offense was humming, it was Jaden's got to get down. He's got to protect himself. He's got to get out of bounds. It takes when you hear that all the time, man, it takes away from your creativity on the field and your aggressiveness. Yeah, like you said. So they just got to get back to just playing loose and free on offense. And I understand the offensive line's been kind of banged up recently, and the running back room, with Brian Robinson and then now Austin Eckler, so they just haven't had the continuity of having all of their pieces and weapons on the field at the same time. But it's the NFL. You got to find a way. It's always next man up. And so for this week, if Eckler's out, which I'm pretty sure
he's out. I think he's deemed out.
Exactly. I was going to say he's got to be.
Yeah, he's out.
And then for B Rob now,
he's going to play.
Well,
you know what I mean. He's going
right.
He's going to try. You know what I mean.
Right. But how effective can he be? And it's one of those things too where you can't suit him up and not use him. You shoot him up, he's got to play. You got to be the workhorse. Because this is the type of game where if you don't sustain a running game against that defense, it could be a long day, man. Seriously.
Yeah, that's my fear. They got bad boys on that D line, man. They got some bad boys on that D line. But you're speaking to B Rob, man. Like I said, he looks like he's going to play Sunday. Well, he's going to try to play. Eckler's out. We talked about that. That means we're going to get some Jeremy Nichols and probably Chris Rodriguez for you.
Yeah.
Who would you like? Because I have my own opinion. I want to get your opinion. Who would you like to see get more carries between the two, Jeremy McNichols or Chris Rodriguez? Who would you like to see get more carries?
That's a great question, because I am a fan of Jeremy too. I think when he's touched the ball, he's done something. But I clearly think it's Chris though. I think Chris is he's very similar to Brian, to B Rob as far as that physical style. I mean, McNichols is too,
but he's got some physicality.
Yeah, but Chris is a guy that has a little bit of pop, and he's a guy that can get into the second wave of your secondary, your defense, and not really a home run threat.
Yes,
but he is a guy that can keep the chains moving, and you're gonna need that. I think, when you pose the question as far as Jaden and maybe a little bit of regression, I wouldn't say it's regression. I just think he's stagnant. And
I think that's what I'm saying. Like either, what I mean? That's what I mean.
Yeah. He's stagnant because they're not running the football effectively.
Agreed.
When Brian was getting 100, remember first 5 weeks of the season, Brian Robinson was one of the leading rushers in the league. So with the injuries and things like that, and I think he missed 3 games. I mean, that stuff derails what you're trying to do offensively. And no offense to Austin Eckler, but he's not a guy at this point in his career that you can turn around and get a ball to 20 times in a game. And there's reasons why now you see. With McNichols, I mean, he's a career backup. He's a career depth player. No offense, I'm just calling it like it is. So that featured back in Brian Robinson was missing, and they really need him to get healthy here, because they're going to need him. It takes pressure off Jaden. It helps Terry. Think about it. When Brian's not in the game, it's almost like teams now feel like the only threat to beat them on a big play is Terry. So they're trying to take him out the game early as far as putting a safety on top of him, above him, So it's like 2 deep coverage on him. He's always going to be double teamed. So that's where Cliff Kingsbury has to be creative and finding ways to still run the football and get it to his playmakers.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that I would like to see Chris Rodriguez get more carries too, just because I feel like the Cliff Kingsbury's offense works better with a physical running back. taking the
It
most of the
does.
carries. And
It
then you
really
have the change of pace with, say, a Nichols. Like you see it, McNichols, excuse me, because you seen it with B Rob and Eckler. There is a when B Rob is getting most of the carries, and then you have Eckler as a change of pace back, you
it
see the
works.
difference within the offense. You
Yeah.
see it. So I think because you do need to wear down defenses, and Chris Rodriguez is able to wear down defense. We saw in the Giants game; he was
Yeah.
wearing them down. I would have liked him when he was I forgot which game it was. He was active, but he didn't get that many carries. I would have liked him to get carries in that prior game. I can't think of the game it was, but he barely got touches. But now he's back. I think they need to showcase him more in this game,
Yeah.
especially
No,
when you're
they
playing against this Titan defense. You should.
oh yeah, they do. I think for Washington to successfully win this game, they're gonna have to get over 80 yards rushing in the game.
Agree.
It can't be Jaden with 70. I mean, it can't be.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be from their backs. If their backs can get you 80 yards collectively,
Mm-hmm.
they'll win the football game because it means that they're taking pressure off Jaden to have to beat you. This is going to be the coldest game he's played in.
Good point. Yeah.
So those are little things like that.
Good
Cold
point.
games, man. You run the football. You're not slinging the ball all over. All you got to do is look at Miami last night in Green Bay. It was cold,
Yeah.
So these are the games where you have to establish the trenches, and Tennessee's going to come out and try to be physical.
Yes.
On both sides of the ball. They're going to try to dictate and dominate the trenches. So if you're Washington's offensive line, I would say over the last 2-3 weeks, hasn't been the unit that we saw consistently early in the season. And a lot of that is the injuries. Brandon Coleman's been nicked up. Andrew Wiley's been nicked up. And who would have ever thought? Yeah, he's out. So who would have ever thought that Andrew Wiley was somebody that the offensive line would miss, But he's played really good football this year. So, you just have to hope that Cornelius Lucas goes over to that side of the field and can hold it down, which I'm confident that he can do. But yeah, they've got to establish themselves up front. Tyler Biadasz, all these guys. He missed some time last week. And Dieter had come in for a couple plays. So you just got to get these guys healthy, man. It seems like the bye week for Washington can't come sooner.
You are not lying. Speaking of bye week, Marshawn Lattimore, he finally practiced. He's finally been practicing, but he's doubtful for Sunday. So basically, after the bye, I'm thinking we're going to get some of Marshawn Lattimore finally. But are you happy with the way this team is handling Marshawn Lattimore?
I am. I mean, because it's showing you that this isn't a one-year rental. They signed this guy to be their CB1 for the next 3-4 years for the foreseeable future. And when you make a move like that, you have to be smart because soft tissue injuries, hamstrings, those are the type of things. If you rush it, you could cause more damage, and then the guy's out for the year. And you don't want that. So I think he's been on the shelf for almost a month since they made the move for him. It's just smart, man. It's smart business for them, and I think that they, that Dallas loss hurt their momentum. It really did. I'm sure the thinking was we're good enough to win these games without him. If you lose to Philly, you still got them coming back later, and he should be able to play in that game. But they probably felt like some of these games, that they lost, like they probably thought they could get Pittsburgh, and they did. They lost by 1 point.
Yeah.
But now this game comes Sunday. If those receivers go off for Tennessee, then you're going to really know why they made the move and had to get him healthy because if they rushed him out there and he got hurt, then you would be dealing with what we've been seeing all year long. So now if he's coming back healthy after the bye week, that would have, I think, if I'm not mistaken, if he plays after the bye week, you're looking at 6 weeks of him being rehabbed.
Yeah.
That's all right, man.
That's good.
Right. Yeah.
That's good, especially for a hamstring. That's good.
Yeah.
Like, hopefully,
and if you don't want that type of player coming out there playing gingerly and he's gimpy. You want him to come out there and be the aggressive ball hawk and physical player that he is.
And I feel like, and then I'm be real with you, like, if he's not ready after that, I'm cool with sitting him again.
Yeah,
I feel to your point, it's for the long game.
It's for the long game, and I think a lot of people got greedy and they're like, 7-2, and I mean myself, I'm still excited about this team. I'm not like ready to say they're done. And no, it's nothing like that. They're still making the playoffs, if you ask me. They're still going to be a wild card team.
I hope, man.
Yeah, I think they're a wild card team, but I said this, man. I said it all the way back in July that they would finish second in the NFC East, but the Eagles will win the NFC East by 3 games.
Yeah.
And I still feel like that's about to happen.
Yeah.
The Eagles, people keep saying, oh, they still have the Ravens, they still have Pittsburgh on their schedule. They're going to split those games. And, I just don't see them losing to Washington, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore. I just that's a lot. I mean, if that were to happen, then Washington has a chance to win the division.
Yeah.
But you got to take care of business first, and that's Sunday.
Yeah, I just feel like that's a little still hard regardless.
That's
and they're playing good football, and they're to their credit, they're playing really good football. So for ours, considering the Titans game, like, what are your keys for a Commanders victory over the Titans?
Establish a run. That's first and foremost. You get Brian Robinson going, man. I mean, if he's playing, you got to use him. You can't just have him suit up and not want to go to him because you're concerned about his ankle. If that's the case, then he shouldn't be playing. So I'm featuring him. I'm getting him the ball. For me, he's got to touch the ball. He's got to have 15 carries tomorrow. Or on Sunday. He's got to do it. If you can successfully run the ball with him and Chris Rodriguez and Jeremy McNichol, you can use him as well.
Yeah.
It's going to open up everything. It's going to open up the big play down the field for Terry or maybe even a De'Ami Brown, if you could believe that.
Yeah.
It'll open up things underneath in the middle for Zach Ertz, for, Ben Sinnott or Bates, So it just makes life easier for everyone. And of course, it'll make life easier on number 5 because now he's not putting a bottle. He's able to play free, make plays with his legs, keep the defense honest, where if they're worrying about, taking the deep ball away, he can take off on you now. So they just got to get back to the things they were doing early. And I think that starts with running the football. And then on the defensive side of the ball, as I said earlier, you got to put pressure on Levis, man. You got to make him uncomfortable really early in the football game because there's 2 Will Levis, like I said. And I saw this all the way back at Penn State. When he's hot, this guy's dangerous, man. He plays with that kind of fire and emotion.
Yeah.
But if you can get him rattled early, then he's not the same type of player. That confidence isn't there as much. So they've got to jump on this Tennessee team early in those 2 aspects, and then I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, that kid got swag. I like Levis because he got swag.
He does.
I like because he got swag. That's what I like about him a lot. But I'm with you though. Like, stopping the run is my key. Also, I ain't gonna know. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of like Noah Brown has had the drops. I know people like talk about De'Ami. He's had the drops, and I kind of want to see De'Ami get some more, like a little bit. I'm not saying take all of his. I'm gonna take dude's.
Well, De'Ami's had the drops too, though.
He had a couple, but I mean, he had a couple. Like, obviously, that the touchdown that he should have had, but we ended up.
Well, he had one against Philadelphia too.
Yeah, that one that before the half he should have caught. Like, I agree with you. I peeped that, but other than I always talk about, other than but Noah's had a few. Even in the Hail Mary game, he had some drops. He's so I'm just saying that I feel like, and especially the way. I'm going to rush through this, but especially the way the defenses are playing Terry. And I said this on last week, the way they're playing Terry and Jaden with the one single high safety, and then pretty much the go route is for Noah Brown. I would rather have De'Ami do the go route. Like, if they're gonna play you that way,
I agree with you. That's his game. That's De'Ami's game.
Yeah, if they're gonna play you that way, go that route.
Well, that's why I said if they get that run game going, don't be surprised if you see a deep shot to De'Ami in this game. Tennessee, now I'm going brain dead. Tennessee has the corner that came in from Kansas City.
Sneed.
Sneed, exactly. Yeah. So, he's going to be on Terry.
Exactly.
So that's so whoever's on the other side has opportunities. Whoever's in the game for Washington, even if it's Luke McCaffrey, whoever's on the other side of Terry is going to have opportunities to have their number called consistently. I think last week Noah had over 10 targets.
Yes.
You can't have that, by the way. You can't have him get 10 targets and Terry get 2.
That's ridiculous.
You can't have that.
You can't have that.
Even if you're force feeding it to Terry, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But again, whoever's out there, they've got to catch the ball because all of them, Zach Ertz too, they've been dropping footballs.
All of them, man. All of them.
So that's not helping Jaden. And people keep saying, "Oh, Jaden doing this, Jaden not doing that." If drives are extended, your offense can start to pick up that momentum again and keep the ball moving, keep the chains moving. So guys just got to do their part, and it's across the board.
No, I agree with you, and we're going to close the show. But the point I always make about it, when you have a rookie quarterback or a young quarterback, it's not on them to make every play. They're not seasoned enough to make every play. So your job is to make life easy for them. That's my whole premise on rookie quarterbacks. So when the ball is thrown to you and it's accurate, you got to catch the football. Period.
I mean, look, bro, it's not just rookie quarterbacks. Look at Kansas City last year.
Yeah.
Even though they won the Super Bowl, their struggles were their receivers were
that's true. Very true.
You know, so it happens. What has Lamar been dealing with in Baltimore for years? This year is a little different.
Yeah.
But for years, the receivers in Baltimore would drop balls on him, and then people would say, oh, he can't win in the playoffs. He can't do this. Well, no, it wasn't him that fumbled last year, you know. So it's little things like that. So Jaden needs help, but as a rookie, it's more compounded.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're not Lamar and Patrick, a Super Bowl winner and an MVP winner. It's a rookie, so he needs his guys to help him, and then it'll open up things for him to be dynamic and be the player we saw for most of the year.
And I want to reiterate this. You said this is a must-win game for the Commanders, right?
It is.
Okay. All right.
Is. Yeah.
Must-win. So you heard that.
I don't have a problem saying that. They dropped to 7-6. It's going to get a little tight.
I'm gonna keep it all at 100. They lose this game, they're definitely not making the playoffs.
I wouldn't say. I think I put it like this. Right now, I think they 80% make the playoffs.
Yeah.
If they lose Sunday, it's dropping down to 50%. They still have a 50-50 chance, but now you're talking about you got
Atlanta. I just think the teams that are like the way they're playing, like
I would feel concerned because you got the Eagles, you got
Eagles
the
Falcons.
Yeah, man, and then you got to go to New Orleans.
Yeah, New Orleans, and they playing better. They playing better football.
They playing better with Carmack. So. Yeah, man, you got to take care of business. If you win Sunday, you go to 8-5.
I agree with you.
That's a lot better than 7-6.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Like I'm so with you. Hey, like before I let you go, man, how can folks catch your content and catch you on social media?
Sure, you can check me out on social media, Lake Lewis Jr. You can subscribe to my podcast, which is the Lake Lewis Jr. Show. You can subscribe to it on YouTube, or you can subscribe to it via pretty much all audio carriers. And then, of course, after the games, you can check me out. This week I'll be with Scott Abraham on ABC Channel 7 for postgame.
And so it's always dope work. I always watch. It's always dope work. You guys do a great job.
Appreciate that. That.
No problem, man. All right, Lake, man, you take these. Thanks for doing this, man. I appreciate you, man.
Oh, no worries, fam. I got you. Right. No worries. No worries. Don't eat too much food, though, tomorrow.
No, I'm not eating no food. I'm eating fruit and veggies now,
on the
man.
leftovers.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't eat too much.
Oh, no, I'm trying to stay away from that.
All right,
Lake.
All right, I'll see you later, man.
I'll see you later. Awesome, man. Lake is awesome, man. He's a cool one. One of the best in the game by far. I'm putting my thing. There we go. Yeah, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. I see y'all. 102, 103. I see y'all pulling up. Yeah, Lake was great. Great insight. My prediction, I'm putting my prediction out there right now. I got the Commanders losing, but it's only because of good luck. I need them to lose I don't need them to lose, but it seems like I've been picking them and they've been losing. So now I'm not going to pick them anymore. I'm not. So Mike, if you in here, Mike, in the chat, I'm back, Mike. I'm back on not picking the Commanders. I'm picking the Titans to win because what's happening now, this losing streak, I ain't for this life. Oh, what did Cody say? I'm sorry. Got to see a good mix of Chris Rodriguez and McNichols, but I like to see Rodriguez get a good amount of reps. I agree with you, Cody. I agree with you. I want to see him get a bunch of reps, man. My bad. I missed your tweet, man. I appreciate you though. Yeah, I want to see Chris Rodriguez get a bunch of carries. That's me. I want to see Chris Rodriguez get the work and let him rock because I feel like he can get the defense tired. Then McNichols can gash him for a big run. You know what I mean? But I think all in all, the O-line got to be more physical and got to play better. You know what I'm saying? For that to happen. The O-line has to kind of be that O-line that we saw in the beginning of the season. But yeah, this Titan team scares me. I won't even lie to y'all because they do what they bring to the table is what Washington struggles with. They run the football. They're playing one of the best defenses. So we struggle against good defensive teams, struggle against the Eagles, we struggle against the Steelers. Those teams were within top 10 of defenses. We got a team that plays great defense. Now, granted, their offense isn't as dynamic as those. I mean, well, the Steelers, well, just be honest with you, Steelers offense ain't dynamic for real. But like, you got a team that just beat the Houston Texans. I think they put 30 on the Texans. They got a defense. They got a run game. We struggle. You know what I mean? So my keys are we got to contain Tony Pollard. We gotta contain him because he go out there and gas us for a big run. Then we go, oh, here we go. Then now they're gonna control the clock, control the momentum, control the time. Play action is gonna be open for Will Levis. He has an arm. Calvin really is like 4.3 speed, is a dynamic route runner. You don't really want to go against that, knowing that the running game's working too. Take away the run game, make them one-dimensional, and then have Will Levis turn the football over. Because if you open up the running game and now you got Calvin really too on the outside, that's a problem, man. That's a problem. I know he was on the injured list. I think now he's full go. So he's a problem. Obviously you got again that defensive front, that defense in Tennessee brings a lot of pressure. That defensive lineman, I forgot his name. I want to say Simon, but I think I'm wrong. Their defensive line is insane. So yeah, man, this is a big game for the Commanders. They win this game, I feel like now we can still talk about playoffs. They lose this game, I don't know if we can talk playoffs anymore. I ain't gonna hold y'all, man. I just feel like I ain't gonna talk playoffs if they lose this game. I ain't gonna even hold you. So that's why I'm picking them to lose, so we can get a win. Because I'm back on my voodoo stuff. We was going good early. Now we ain't going. We're going good when I was not picking them. Then we lost. That was like, I'm gonna go back and pick them. We won a couple. Then we're gonna do the street with me picking them. Nah, I'm back. So Commander fans, I'm back to picking the Commanders to lose. Hopefully, my Nigerian voodoo works for us to win football games. So you already know what time it is. All right, Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tune into our Commanders Titans recap show. We'll have Bowie TV's Commanders reporter Candy Waller. It'll be streaming live on our YouTube, X, IG, and Facebook accounts. It also will be streaming on the Bowie TV YouTube channel and their other social media platforms as well. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Also, follow us on X at Urban Sports Scene, IG and TikTok at Urban Sports Scene, and like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. Make sure you subscribe to our Urban Sports Scene YouTube channel as well. If you're on there right now, hit that red subscribe button. Also, like this video. A bunch of y'all start liking it. Does well for our algorithm. So just like, subscribe. And then, help us get to 900. We close. We trying to get to 900. Get us to 900. You know what I mean? We just pulled over to the 800 side. Now just get us to 900. We try and get there. Also, check us out on our website, our Urban Sports Scene website, which is www.urbansportscene.com. All right, man. Thank you all for tuning in, chiming in. Appreciate y'all. Y'all are the real MVPs. Anyway, you've been listening to the Urban Sports Scene by Aegis Yedig Deuces. Your boy Wole is out.